Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of High Energy Girl. And today's amazing guest is Deb Naylor. Now, Deb was a client of mine, and we were talking about skincare. And when she retired from her amazing career in finance, she decided to go into a different career and focus on skincare. So we're going to talk all about it, and she actually opened my eyes on things that I didn't even realize. So it's a great interview, and I'm sure you will enjoy. So let's go say hi to Deb. Hey everyone, welcome to High Energy Girl, a podcast helping women to age stronger because it is never too late to get fit, be strong, and feel sexy. I'm your host, Tracy Gluhige, health coach and personal trainer and founder of highenergygirl.com. Each week, we will either have a guest interview, which will provide you encouragement or an actionable tip to help you age stronger, or I will do a solo episode. Please also join our awesome Facebook group called High Energy Girls, and I'm looking forward to see you on the inside of that group and hope you enjoy today's show. Create Whole Body Wellness, a powerful new advancement in energy medicine. Increase your energy, empower your life. I am super excited to announce that I am now a Bioenergetics Practitioner. And many people are like, well, what is bioenergetics? So imagine that our body is controlled by our energy field, and these fields get distortions and blockages, which create physical and emotional symptoms. So how do we get energy blockages? From stress, toxins, EMFs, emotional traumas, physical scars, and physical traumas. All you need to do is decode the human body field to get to the root cause and restore your energy for life. For more information, head on over to the blog at highenergygirl.com/bioenergetics with an X. That's BIOENERGETIX, and heal your energy for life. Hey, Deb, thanks so much for coming on the show today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Tracy.
I'm super excited to chat with you. So for the listeners that don't know you yet, why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself?
So I am a retired finance professional from a Fortune 500 company that decided to embark on a second career. And what I love about this is I love to consistently improve myself and learn about things. And when I became aware of some industry standards, I elected to become a beauty counter consultant. So I'm a mother, wife, sister, and, just out there making an impact and trying to influence everywhere that I can.
Now, when you say there's no regulation, you mean the skincare industry, right?
Yes, in cosmetics. So I think it's 1938. So it's been over 80 years since there's been any regulation passed in the United States. And there's only 30 banned ingredients in the United States, as opposed to the European Council has 1,300 banned from their ingredient list.
Yeah, just like food. It's the same. They feed our people crap, and then they make a premium product to import to Europe because they will not import our crap.
Absolutely.
So the reason I want to talk to you today, Deb, is because in 2007, I became aware of all the garbage that they put into skincare. And I heard about parabens for the first time ever, and therefore threw away all my Bath and Body Works products because they were laden with parabens. And my grandma had breast cancer, and I learned at that time that most, like a large percentage of breast tumors had traces of parabens in them. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. And, there's another statistic. I have a sister-in-law and a dear friend that had breast cancer. And I think the quote is there's about 75% of the cases are due to environmental reasons instead of genetic or hereditary. And that all comes down into, parabens and phthalates and everything that's into our beauty and skincare products. So there's lots of harmful impacts of not only what we put in our bodies, but on our bodies. So I like to think of it this way, is wherever we can get safer skincare and cleaner cosmetics, then we can be better, beautiful inside and out. So yeah. So Beauty Counter was started in 2013 by Greg Renfrew. And when she realized that there were so many harmful ingredients, she decided to make a change and to go to our legislation, go to Congress, right? And let's have more transparency. Fragrance is a word, that is a loophole, right? And so you say Bath and Body Works, you got rid of everything, right? That's in there. Fragrance is one of those things that is a loophole. And if you see fragrance listed with nothing more, throw that out. Because that really, and your skin, it doesn't take long for you to absorb. Think about when you put lotion on your skin, how quickly that absorbs in, and that gets into your bloodstream and goes directly there, and you have impacts. So my self-awareness came in 2013, 2014. I had to have eye surgery. And this sounds terrible, it sounds worse than it is, but I had to have all the cells scraped off my cornea, right? I had a cross-link surgery, and the cells in your eye on your cornea will grow back. And so I had to have vitamin C drops put in them, and the cells grew back. As the cells grew back, the cornea cells on my eyes, I became extremely sensitive to what we were just talking about, fragrance, mascara, anything, lotion, skincare. And my eyes would just water and quiver. And it was actually my ophthalmologist that she said to me, I said, what can I wear? I'm okay. I don't need makeup, but I don't have any eyelashes. I really like to put a little eye, mascara on to look alive. And she said, I don't know if you've heard about, there's a new company called Beauty Counter, and they test all their ingredients. They have a never list. And back then it was 1,500 ingredients that they would, even though there wasn't legislation, they just never included in their products. And today there's 1,800 ingredients that they don't include. And so that's where I started. And I then started looking at everything, all my labels, and fragrance and parabens, and it's like, gone, get rid of this, stop. And lo and behold, I had less allergies. My eyes didn't water. I actually, and here's the strange thing, is I used to have sunglasses on dead of winter, no matter what the weather was. I can go outside in almost the nearly bright sun with no sunglasses. It was an odd side effect that was there, and less fragrance. And my cornea surgeon said to me that if you are sensitive, extremely sensitive to scents or something that's going on, then you need to detox your body. It's one way, shape, or form, whether it be, and he didn't know about Beauty Counter, but what he did know is that's being caused by fragrance and toxins that you're absorbing through your skin. And yeah, strange time.
Wow. I didn't know about, I never looked at my labels to know the fragrance thing was bad, but I know that perfume is not good to wear. And even scented candles, I know are not good.
Yeah, scented candles are awful, and just room sprays, and use essential oils. And that's when I became interested in essential oils and trying to clean up, even cleaning products. There is another, and I picked up on another brand. It was interesting. I was just talking to my aunt about cleaning the windows, having to clean one day, and she says, "Hey, Deb," she says, "you talked about these new allergies that you have and that you're getting rid of them." She says, "Why not? Let's save the earth." I just was introduced to a product called Norex, and it's really, their material has a antimicrobacterial in it, and you wet the cloth. So just wet the cloth with water, clean your windows, use another cloth to dry. There's no Windex to fumes. You're not using massive paper towels, and you're not streaking. Just do that. So I've just embarked upon everything to try to clean up my act, so to speak.
I love it. I think that's so important. And I'll tell you how fast things absorb into your skin. A friend of mine that's local was selling this water purifier thing. And I don't live in town. I live out in the country, so we have a well. But in town, they put chlorine and, crap in your water. And so what she did was she poured a glass of water, put some drops in it, and it changed color, which identified chlorine. Then she poured another glass of water, stirred her finger around in it, and tested it. The chlorine was gone. It had already absorbed into her finger in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, that's alarming. So think about how many products we put on our body every single day, right? You put your deodorant on. I mean, just think things you don't think: shampoo, conditioner, wash your face, wash your body, all the makeup that you put on, lotions. It's amazing. It really is amazing. What we put on. I think the average number is about 15 different products every person uses. Think about, you shave, right? Products, soap. It's crazy. And every time you pick up a product to use, whatever's in there, right? So if you compound fragrance in every single thing, right? You just, all of that just compounding gets into your bloodstream. And so then you think about the cancer rates. And when you find out 70%, I mean, it was a statistic I got from my sister-in-law, right? 70% is caused by your environment, right? Versus genetics.
I would say at least, because there's a whole science called epigenetics. And I've had this guy who's an expert in that field on the show twice. And epigenetics, you know what that is? Have you heard of that before?
No, I haven't.
It's gene expression. So imagine that we all have our genetic code, and you can turn them on or off based on lifestyle. So, like, for instance, all my family, they're all overweight. Well, that wasn't my gene, even though everybody had that, because I didn't sit and eat crap. You know what I mean? Like, I learned about nutrition early. I really exercised all the time. But just because they have that, that doesn't mean I have that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you just said something else that I wanted to address. The cancer. So the CDC predicts that by 2030, half of our population will have cancer.
Wow.
Okay. I think it's toxins. And our body is thrown all these toxins. We're exposed to so much stuff. And our body's like, what am I supposed to do with that? We weren't made to be bombarded with all that garbage.
That's true. And think about the infertility rates that have grown, right? They're increasing in the United States, right? So it's not only that, right? There's cancer, infertility, allergies, asthma, all these sensitivities that we as human beings are adopting, versus think about back in a much more simpler times when we just had basic, right? Soap and water, right? To do that. So think about that. 50% of us are predicted to have cancer in the future. And of that 50%, 70, 80% could be prevented because of our environmental factors and our lifestyle, as you say, right? Your lifestyle, it makes a huge impact.
Yeah, that's 100%. I totally agree with that. So talk about so what changes? Oh, that's something else I wanted to say. So you know how you said that you can go out in the sun without sunglasses?
Yeah.
So for the people listening that may not understand why this is so good, have you heard of the pineal gland?
I have heard of the pineal gland.
Okay. So a lot of people don't know really what that is, but it's an amazing piece of our brain that literally is our connection. It's like our antenna to the etheric realm, which is like God, angels, all of that, right? It is like our antenna. And from all the learning that I have done in the last year or two, what I've learned is fluoride, which they put in our water, has actually, I think it's called calcification of the pineal gland. And the way to decalcify that is to, well, first of all, eliminate the toxin, right? Get rid of fluoride, no fluoride in your toothpaste or water. And then look at the sun. You do this thing called sun gazing, and it helps open that or decalcify the pineal gland.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's other things to do, but that's one of the biggies is you don't want to look directly at the sun, but like sunrise, sunset, you
Mhm.
want to like be out there and work on that. So, fun fact. Um, so that's good that you can do all that. And so talk about a little bit like when you started being aware of the skincare, what did you start with? Like what did you start using, I guess, as on your body, face, hair, whatever?
So the first thing was the mascara, because it was right after that surgery. It's like, I'm not a heavy makeup user, right? But I have small eyes, and I just really wanted to see my eyes, right? I was thankful to see it. Like, so if I could never, if I had to give up mascara for the rest of my life, so be it. I'd rather have my vision, right? But once I got the okay for that, I really wanted to do that. And so mascara was the first thing. And then next was, because I really wasn't, I'd say really good at doing a deep cleanse of my face. I like to take the easy way and use makeup remover wipes. Well, then when I became aware of this after being introduced to Beauty Counter and learning more about what they were about, I'm like, I should check my makeup remover wipes. What am I putting directly on my face and around my face, right? Because what if my eyes are batting and like, smarting when I first use them? So that was the next thing I changed, right? Was my makeup remover wipes. And then started in on the skincare. And I got to tell you that my skin, it takes 35, 45 to 60 days to detox your skin, your face, even your face routine. And sure enough, it did. I hadn't had blemishes in a while, and I started getting a couple. And I'm like, what's going on? Well, Beauty Counter has a 60-day refund policy. Full, no questions asked. If you don't want to, just turn it back in. And the reason they do that is because of that detox cycle. So you think about when you detox your body, right? Depending on how fast you do it, what methodology you take, it's not an overnight thing. It's taken a while to build up all these toxins. So you have to have a detoxifying process. And so when I switched then to my skincare, I saw my pores change, right? My skin looks smoother. At the same time as like drink more water, think about all the things put together versus just one thing. If you combine it, you really see impacts, quite quickly. And I never thought about shampoo. I'm like, really? Shampoo? My hair follicles? But when you wash your hair, the soap goes down your whole body, your face, you've got conditioner on, right? Think about that. Think about, then I started thinking about nail polish and what about the salon and hair dyes. I just became very aware of every single thing that I touched. Think of the touch point of your day. If you were just to take an hour, right, your first hour in the morning getting ready, right, but let alone just pick a day and say, oh, what did I touch here? Cleaning products, wherever, and check that out. Then think about what your products come in, right? Plastics, we've heard about that. We've heard PBA free. We've heard of those leaching into the foods, right? Do cans leach into your food? It just opened up my eyes to an entire new perspective on my life. Like, okay, maybe I don't want to use a plastic container and put it in my microwave to heat up my meal, right? It should be storing in glass. What about the products that I'm getting? How about my toothpaste? How about, the lotion? What bottles are they in? What's my skincare product in? Can it be recycled?
Wow.
Right? And what about the plastics for the earth and those things? And, as we do more recycling wherever we are, could I recycle my skincare and beauty products? The majority of them I couldn't. Right? I didn't have a recycle sign on the back there. And so Beauty Counter does that as well. And they want to reduce our carbon footprint, and they give back. They're a B certified company, right? So now I'm educated about B certified companies, which they equally put the planet, people, and profit, right? Not just profit. And so I now shop more. I look for more B Corp companies that speaks to me and my family, right? On what to do for that. So, and glass containers and recycling, less packaging, right? Our carbon footprint, and making sure when they source our products, the other thing is it child labor, right? What's the mica that's in there? Are we going to use carbon? So think about the mascara. You asked me what I started with. Well, really? Look at the black that makes your, do you want to put your tire material on your eyelashes? Like, you don't want to, right? So you just don't think about those, and think about the word petroleum jelly, Vaseline. Oh, that used to be my chapped lips. You know, that's what I use for, that's a byproduct of petroleum. So I really want to be putting lips anymore, you know? So it just made me open up my eyes to many things.
Yeah, God, I didn't even think about the BPA from plastic containers leaching into your product. That's a
Yeah.
really good point. Wow, this was great to learn about all this stuff. Yeah, I wrote down I have to order mascara and wipes from you. And as I run out of stuff, because I really do use clean skincare, but as I run out, I mean, some of the stuff you said, like the plastic, I mean, my skin stuff, even though it's chemical free, it is in plastic.
Right. So think about that. The other thing is EWG. I became aware of the Environmental Working Group, right? And there's an app, you can just download it. It's called Think Dirty is the one I use, right? There's many of them out there, but you just go download that app, put in your product, right? And it will give you red, yellow, green, and various, and you say, how does that rate? And what are those ingredients? So you can get some transparency, right? And that's exactly how to do it. Start changing as you run out of things. It doesn't have to be a whole, you know, I mean, if you want to do a wholesale swap, you can, but it, you know, it's financially easier and easier in your body to transition and do that and just detox a few things at a time.
So when you said you detoxed your skin, did you do anything besides replacing your products and drinking water, which I'm going to take a sip, or did you do something else?
Nope, I basically did that and washed because I didn't want to change too many variables at a time, right? So when I first started with Beauty Counter, it was that you can take a skincare quiz, right? And I started with the Counter Match program and I loved it. And then in 3 to 4 months later, they developed the Counter Time, which is a retinatural complex, and it doesn't have any retinol in it, right? It's bakuchiol. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's a natural form of it, right? And when I switched to that, it was an oil-based cleanser, which, I was a little, I'm like, I'm not putting oil on my skin. Like I can't, like that'll clog pores. I had all this, you know, falsehoods, these beliefs, these myths. And it's like, so, but I actually use that and my skin feels cleaner, right? And double cleansing. And I always was, like I said to you, I wash my face, I clean my face to get the environmental, you know, crud off it from living in the day, right? With makeup, but it never did this 4-step program. I felt like my life was too busy. I had too much going on. I didn't have time to do it. And it actually doesn't take a lot of time. And once you see the benefits of it, it's really good. But I didn't want to change too much too fast, right? And then I'm like, okay, then how about my body lotion? Right? I can do body lotion. And then I was already on to trying to get a more clean deodorant prior to Beauty Counter. I just had dabbled. That was the first place I dabbled into. And Beauty Counter came out with a clean deodorant as well. So then I switched over to their clean deodorant. They have a wonderful charcoal mask that also helps clean and detox your pores. And you'll find you can get a few more blemishes there. But like I said, it's a, 30 to 60 day process. Everybody's body is different to do that. And so, I do a charcoal mask once a week. I do it under my armpits, to help that transition process. My husband, I'm still trying to get him to a cleaner, natural deodorant, but I said, you're going to have to, you got to sweat it out, babe. You got to do that. Right. So I try to get the charcoal there to help detoxify that. And I use a charcoal bar to clean my makeup sponges and brushes as well. Think about what you use to clean those type of things, right? What products do you use there? So, just stop and think on a day, like, what do I pick up? Laundry detergent, Beauty Counter doesn't sell laundry detergent, but I'm just saying, use that EWG app to be really educated.
What's it called again?
I do use the one Think Dirty, but it's EWG certified. There's a lot of different apps out there. But it just gives a rating for you and helps you then pause and think about it, because whatever residual like cleaning product is left, The clothes touch your skin too, and you wear them, right? You sweat in them. If you're working out, you're doing things, you're working outside, right? So that's impactful as well.
You know, my husband uses powder all the time and I freaking hate it. It has ruined my marble in my bathroom. I mean, it's just everywhere and I hate it. Do you guys have anything that would replace like a powder?
We don't have a powder per se. We do have a men's line, and my husband absolutely loves the exfoliating face cream, facial cream, shaving cream, and he uses their shampoo now. He switched over. First, he's like, "What? You know, I like my favorite brand of shampoo." I'm like, "Well, just give it a try. If it's not for you, it's not for you. You know, it can be. It's not for everyone, but it's for anyone. So give it a try if you don't like it." And he absolutely, so he switched over to that, and he's pretty persnickety, right? And he's a fragrance guy. He loves fragrance, right? So I've had to wean him away from fragrance. And he goes, I said, well, we can get a nicely scented room without, you know, candle wicks. Let's get some essential oils, right? But he loves that. And but he doesn't have a powder that he uses, and so we don't have that yet. And Beauty Counter is trying to get away from talc, right? So they just launched last week a talc-free eyeshadow, creamy eyeshadow, and they're going to get that out of their blush, and you know, and make sure everything's responsibly sourced. So no, I don't have an answer for that one right now, but they keep working on everything.
Good.
The other thing I love about Beauty Counter is they're not just about themselves. They started a collaboration with like companies. They're about getting it for the consumer, right? And they're advocating for, they've been around for 8 years, and there's been about 9 different laws passed, like a Safe Kids Act in Oregon, right? And Greg Renfrew is from California, so really a lot going on with California. They've got, I will just do a plug here. We vote for it with our dollars, folks, whether we recognize it or not. Every time you make a purchase, you're voting for something what you want, right? So when I think about, my husband loves a certain brand of fabric softener. I'm like, why do you need fabric softener? Why don't we just use these wool dryer balls and I put a couple drops of essential oil on it, right? We can get the static out. We can do that. So he's done that as well. But we can text for Better Beauty. It doesn't cost you anything. Just text, and the number in the US is 52886. And it just sends a text to Congress to say, I want better beauty. I want transparency. I want more regulations and laws on the forefront, so I know what's going on, right? I don't want to have every time I want to pick up a product, I got to read the label. You know, we do that food, we do that for everything, and it's like, am I making the best choice? You know, am I spending my dollars wisely? And I think, as you said before, do you want to spend your money being healthy, or do you want to spend it taking care of being sick, right? So it's all how we spend our dollars. When do we want to spend that? So so it's an easy thing to do. Just text that 52886 and let your voice be heard, right? It's an advocacy for that. And then each state by state, Beauty Counter is going and helping advocate for that as well. They're looking, like I said, to our climate, to sustainable packaging. And it's just helped me open my eyes.
Gosh, me too. I can't even get over all this. And it's like, you know, if you think about this, like sunscreen, you know, here's a great story for you. One day I was boating with a friend, and this gal had a bag that had her sunscreen and all her stuff, right? Well, her sunscreen leaked and melted her sunglasses.
Oh, that ought to tell you something.
Right? It was like copper tone or beach, whatever. I don't know, one of those like banana boat ones, or one of those sprays. And I'm thinking, wow, if that can melt your sunglasses, what the heck is in there, you know?
Yeah.
So, but that's another thing. I love the sun, as you can tell. And I think that skin cancer comes more from toxic sunscreen than it comes from the sun.
Absolutely. And did you know, I always used to wear SPF I wanted 50 or above. And what I've learned since working with Beauty Counter, and so they love to advocate, formulate, and educate, right? And so I've loved the education that I've gotten is the difference from an SPF 30 to anything any higher. SPF 30 blocks 98% of the UVA and UV rays, UVB. So it's just psychological if you're paying for extra, right? So what else is in there, right? To block, you want to get that, and you can't get up to 100%. Maybe you get an extra 1%, right? But to get that, there's so many bad things that are in there. And a Beauty Counter does make sunscreen. And that's one thing that I do put on my face every single day. They have like a moisturizer with sunscreen, tinted moisturizer with sunscreen that I put on every single day, whether I go out or not. And then in the summer, I have one that's made just for the face, an extra one that's not, it's white when it comes out of the tube, but it doesn't leave a white residue or anything. It doesn't feel heavy and thick in the hot weather. And it protects my face. And I know that I have that on every single day. So yeah, it's really important. And we talk about plastic containers and stuff, right? What's the stat? I think I looked up the other day, is that by 2050, there's going to be more plastic bottles in the ocean than fish. Like, seriously, we got to start paying attention to this as well, right? And I want to be responsible. I want to make sure my grandchildren don't have to check that they enjoy the same life we have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have a lake house in the Adirondacks, and I love the water, love to be here, right? Love the outdoors. It's no different than pollution, right? In the air. And you mentioned, living in the country, we have a well as well. And I can tell when I go to someone's house that doesn't have that well, right? That they're on the city water, if you will. There's a big difference, right? So it's amazing.
Yeah, there is a big difference. And the other thing, though, is I want to just mention to listeners with regards to sunscreen, it's important for us to go outside every day without sunscreen for vitamin D absorption, because sunscreen does prohibit vitamin D from absorbing into your skin. So go out 20 minutes a day with as much skin showing as possible so that you can get the happy vitamin D,
Absolutely. So my sunscreen on every day is my face, right? Every day it's my face. And then if I'm going to be out on the water or more, then I put it on the rest of my body. But for that same very reason that you just said, you got to get the actual natural sunshine. You have to have the vitamin D. And, you got to walk out there barefoot too, right?
Yeah, barefoot, ground yourself. So do you guys have anything for crepey skin?
Not necessarily does it say crepey, but our adaptive moisturizer, we have a body moisturizer as well. And then there's also one, get this, here's another fun fact, of course, living in the country and being in the Adirondacks, they have a body oil. And again, I was like, I'm not putting oils on my skin. I'm not going there, right? But it's rosemary. It's got lemongrass and rosemary in it, and you will not get a bug near you with rosemary oil on you. And it's not skin, it absorbs, and it's nice, and it's essential. It's safe products. Read, and the smell of rosemary is not overpowering, right? And it essentially goes away. And so that's what I'm using on mine. So I use adaptive moisturizer because that will regulate based on what your skin needs. And I use that lemongrass rosemary oil, which is phenomenal.
So I think we've talked before about the Bahamas and the no-see-ums. Would that help with that?
Yes, because up here in the Adirondacks, we get those black flies, which are like those no-see-ums, right? And they come usually around the end of May, and every now and then again, there might be a later hatch. And so I was out with some friends going around, and they're all slapping their legs and arms, and and they'll come bite your eyelids. They're like the no-see-ums. You don't see them, and next thing you know, you got all these bites around you. Well, I had the rosemary, that lemongrass and rosemary. And they're like, Deb, why aren't they bothering you this year? And I'm like, this is why, right? And I used to rub on the brim of my hat. I used to put like Vaseline or Vicks Vapor or those things. Well, no, I just squirt that little rosemary oil around there, and they stay away from my eyes. And yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I want to go back to that resort, but I don't want to get eaten alive again. So that's good to know.
Yeah,
That would actually be a really good market for you to contact, like resorts and stuff.
that's true.
Because like when I was there, I had no idea what to expect. I didn't know anything about it. But how cool would it be that you show up at this hotel and they have a gift shop and they say, just so you know, there's these bugs out here, but this will help so that you don't get bit.
Yeah, that'd be a great idea.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Yeah.
Always thinking, always thinking. Well, how can people find you, order these great products? Like, do you have a link or anything like that we can include in the show notes page as well?
Yes, absolutely. So it's just www.beautycounter.com/Deb Naylor, right? I also have a Facebook page that's called Safer Skincare plus Cleaner Cosmetics equal Better Beauty, right? And so you can ask to join to be a member of that. And like I said, you can go on there. There's our mission report, what Beauty Counter is doing for sustainability. It'll list the 1,800 on the never list. Again, remember, the US only bans 30,
That is
right?
ridiculous.
It's insane, right? And text that 52886 and I'll post out on my Facebook page certain, like if they're campaigning in New York State and they've got a text to go to your New York State, or they've got it to go to California, or they've got it to go to Oregon or Ohio, or wherever they may have it. But again, that's what I love about Beauty Counter, right? Is that they're advocating for all of us. And they're also working in Canada. I think it was 2016 they started working in Canada. So it's the US and Canada. They just want, better beauty, safer products, so that we should be able to just pick up anything we buy and know it's safe for us, right? But we all know it's not there.
Absolutely. That would be the ideal dream, is that anything, a cleaner, a beauty product, anything that you pick up, you know that it's toxin free. That is where we need to be. Because like I've said before, the US spends the most per capita on healthcare than any country in the world, yet we are the least healthy. And if you think about what you just said about we only eliminate 30 chemicals versus like 1,300 or something, that's crazy. So prevention, an ounce of prevention is worth is better than a pound of cure. I know I said that wrong.
Yes. And the loophole, and because we have so few regulations, fragrance is a loophole. So someone can market, and I'm not about bashing other brands or anything, right? Because there's other clean brands that are great, but I'm here just to educate and to be aware, right, that there are those loopholes. So it is called greenwashing, right? Someone can advertise as being a clean product, right? And they're clean by the legislation that's in place here in the United States, but they may not necessarily be clean to help protect us and our bodies. So use that Think Dirty app, go see how the EWG certifies it, and just check things out, every single thing.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to do that. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I'm super excited to try out these products, and I'm definitely going to get on there and get started. I know that my mascara, like I wrote it. I know I need mascara, but I do want to try the other stuff, like for the skin, like for my face. So I just thank you for opening my eyes too to all these other things that I didn't even think about.
Yeah, it's all about a lifestyle, right? And lifestyle is a huge arena, right, where we can make changes for that. So thank you so very much, Tracy, for having me on your show. I really appreciate that.
Okay, that was awesome, you guys. I learned so much from her, and now I'm going to diligently go and check out all of my different products and start replacing them one at a time. Or maybe I might do like what I did with the Bath and Body Works and just dump all the crap, because why bother putting more poison on my skin any longer than I need to, now that I know. So anyways, please head on over to the show notes page so you can order some of those products if you so desire. And get in contact with Deb in her Facebook group. So the show notes is highenergygirl.com/show. Thanks so much for listening. Make it a great day. This podcast contains the opinion and thoughts of its host and guests. It is intended to provide helpful and informative material on the subjects covered. All statements made on the podcast have not been evaluated by the FDA and are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. If the listener requires professional assistance or advice, please contact your personal medical doctor. Both host and guest specifically disclaim any responsibility for any liability, loss, or risk, personal or otherwise, which is incurred as a consequence directly or indirectly of the use and application of any of the contents of these episodes. Like I said, this is my opinion and I could be wrong.